Many strange things have been seen across South Africa.
We're two guys on a journey to find the truth. Join us as we explore South Africa in search of the supernatural. Anything from UFOs to the paranormal. You can't dismiss something you don't investigate.
Welcome to Strange SA. I've always been fascinated by the possibility that there are people who can see into the future. This is a valid area to investigate, seeing as how it's something that you can prove.
During our research, we realized there's a lot of popularity around predicting the future or analyzing signs that life might provide. We also discovered that there are lots of different avenues to look at when you want to approach this.
We started our search with numerology, an ancient practice, almost as ancient as math itself, using numbers to predict the future.
First up was numerology.
Going in, I had no idea what numerology was. I thought it was some sort of math that somehow predicts the future. Meeting Sandy, she seemed less like a fortune teller and more like a rock star.
So Sandy, please tell us a little bit more about yourself.
I kind of started career-wise in the music industry, and I was in the industry for about 28 years. I used to tell friends about their date of birth and tell them about their names and everything, and people would say, you know, how do you know that? Because you've never met that person. But I wasn't seeing this as a career. And I went on and I studied astrology and I studied graphology. A few years down the line, I also studied face profiling. But eventually, with all my friends kind of asking me the questions of what I'd found in the numerology, they eventually said to me, you know, I don't know why you don't start charging, because everything that you always tell us is correct. And I kind of went, okay, I never thought about that. And that's really how it began.
Sandy started by giving us an introduction into what numerology actually is.
So numerology is your full-born name that appears on your birth certificate. And in numbers, when you put numbers together, you actually are able to get a story together of who the person is. In the numerology of the name, each letter of the alphabet is designated a number.
It appeared that she was looking for groupings of numbers. When she found a nice group of numbers, that helped her to determine what it meant.
So are the numbers ever wrong?
No, not at all, because there's such a black and white thing about them. They can only be wrong if given the wrong information. And I think that when I'm calculating your name, is that I've got to make sure that I'm giving it the correct number aligned to that particular letter.
Over the years doing this numerology, is there any people or situations you found that really stood out for you?
I wrote an article in People magazine in the April for the July issue, and in the July issue was George Bush's date of birth. He's born on the 6th of July, and America's date of birth being born on the 4th of July. And I did a prediction of that there was going to be a car, plane, boat, train, vehicle accident that is going to be huge, that will have a ripple effect around the world. It was People magazine who actually phoned me and said, do you realize what you wrote in the magazine, because September 11th happened? Wow. And that was all, you know, planes and things going on.
Sandy gave each of us a reading, starting with Gideon.
Okay, my name would be Gideon, Gideon. Daniel.
I-E-L.
Yes. Roux, Leroux.
And your date of birth?
Is 25/09/87.
Right, okay.
I wondered how Sandy could predict things by just looking at numbers. What formula does she use? Does she subtract, multiply, divide? Hell, I don't know.
Okay, so interesting. Your Gideon is a 9, your Daniel is a 9, and your Leroux is a 5. And It's interesting, you're totally driven by fires because you're born on the 25th.
It was quite interesting. She found that I was connected a lot to the number 5 and that I associated myself with other number 5s.
So, highly academic, should have studied, and you will continue to study because you've got masters in your number. And then you've got a lot of fame in your numbers. But right now at the moment, your career has been taking off since your birthday in 2015. I think your me, myself, I is much more awake than it has been, and your opportunity from a work perspective is absolutely huge. And there's going to be even bigger opportunities coming for you over the next year.
During his reading, I picked up on a lot of accurate points, and I was looking forward to my own reading. Right from the start of my reading, I was completely caught off guard. She was accurate on so many levels that I couldn't keep up with all the information.
Did you ever want to study law?
My mom wanted me to study law. I wasn't very keen on it.
You are totally independent. You've kind of got the stance of seriously standing up in life. Your Hendrik is about if you don't connect, you don't bother. Your brain it never sleeps. It's always constantly ticking. Your Fraser is awesome because that's where you are what grounds you. It's a 4, which says that your feet are on the ground, you like to map, you like to plan, you don't necessarily do surprises, where he can do surprises quite easily. You're going to do enormously well with property. You like structures, you like earth, metal and wood, you like mountains and natures and outdoor and vistas. And Fraser's where your author sits.
Sandy straight up told me that I was a writer.
Have you ever written anything?
Yeah, no, yes. Very much. I'm actually writing a novel at the moment.
100%.
She brought up teaching, which I've done quite a lot of, both as a Taekwondo instructor and a tutor for high school children.
Very good at teaching, strong-willed, passionate, love a challenge. Money's on the improve for you, and things are actually only going to get better, and I see you starting your own business.
Wow, that's eerily accurate.
After our meeting with Sandy, I really thought this numerology stuff, there's more to it. It's not just basic math. She does have a big clientele base, and it does seem that she's helping a lot of people. Also, in one case, someone won the lottery based on numbers she provided. It was time to move on to our next location, Angel Readings with Janet McGee.
As we entered the space, I felt immediately at ease. It had a very calming effect on me.
What a beautiful location with a beautiful river and a sense of serenity everywhere. Thank you, Janet, for having us today. Could you please tell us a bit more about yourself?
Well, I was born in South Africa, Durban actually.
Okay.
And got married and came up to Johannesburg, and I've been here ever since.
Could you tell us a bit more about what it is you're going to be showing us today?
Okay, I've been doing this work for 21 years. My mom left this world 21 years ago, and I was living what I thought was a normal life. Okay, married, working, children, and then I lost my mom. And that made me really sit up and think, well, there must be something beyond this world. You know, until you lose somebody, I don't think you really think about something like that. And that set me on this journey. And I've been shown angels all the way. Wherever I went, there would be an angel. It would be something to do with angels. And eventually put everything together myself. I took, I think, what you would call the road less traveled. Okay, I didn't go and get trained by anybody. I've made my own angel cards. I've written a little book. I've also had a CD made, and my cards, my readings, I've done it all myself. Okay, so that's really something special when you are able to do it yourself, because you can do actually what you like with whatever you've made and take it further.
Can you see angels, or could you possibly describe for us how they appear to you, or is it only through the cards?
You know, I don't think some people say they see angels, but I think angels are of such a high vibration. I don't think you would be able to actually see them. But with the work that I've done over the 20 years, I've realized that the angel is actually part of who you are. Okay, so the more you work with this partnership that you have, the more it helps you in your life.
Janet, could you please explain to us how an angel reading works?
Okay, angel readings are different to the normal card readings. They don't really interfere with your future. They don't tell you your future. They inspire you, they give you hope, and they give you support.
Would it be possible for you to do an angel reading for us?
Oh yeah, sure.
Janet explained her angel reading cards, as well as the fact that angels live among us and constantly send us messages.
If you are going through any struggles at the moment, okay, you have drawn adversity, which means things are going to change for the better. Okay, once you start working with your angelic connection, okay, things will change. You've actually drawn Archangel Michael, which is a huge protection and guidance in your life. And you've got a breakthrough coming. Okay.
Wow. That's fantastic. All good news.
All good news.
With my one, there were certainly some correlations with the numerology again.
In your case, Gideon, it's all about your willingness, okay, to experience a little bit more of spiritual awareness in your life. So your reading is a little bit more on the spiritual side, okay, and it's asking you to look out for signs. I would advise you that you actually open up a little bit more, look around you, and you will definitely see the signs in your life.
Thank you.
We went on a walk by the river to discuss the topic of angels further.
Janet, could you tell us a bit more about what you do here at the Woodland Centre?
Well, at Woodlands we work as a collective. We work on the body, mind and soul, and we've got the day spa, which obviously takes care of the body, and then we've got the Woodlands Conscious Living Centre, and that takes care of your spirit and your soul. So it takes into consideration the whole body as such, and which is vitally important. If you want to sort of go forward in life, you have to take care of all your dimensions in life.
How can an average Joe, such as ourselves, tap into this angelic frequency or this energy? How can we open up and explore this even further?
Well, Gideon, you know, as I've said before, you have to be ready for it. You have to want to have this in your life. It has to become part of who you are. It has to become part of your lifestyle for it to work in your life. So it's not a quick fix or anything like that. Okay, and beautiful to connect with nature. This is where we can connect with our spirits. But then, of course, we all can't live here permanently. So I think creating a little angel corner or an angel altar in your home, and that would be essential to actually visit that every day, and that will actually open up your channel and help your focus and take you forward day by day.
Okay,
that would be my advice.
That's great advice. Thank you very much.
Okay.
During both of our readings, I picked up that none of this was negative in any way. The messages coming through were extremely positive, and I had to wonder, is it like this for everyone?
We headed back to Joburg, where we met up with a real astrologer, Laurie Norton.
I always thought that astrology was something only found in magazines and tabloids, purely for fun.
When we arrived at Laurie's house, she invited us into her office, which is a very nice space to work and study astrology.
Hi Laurie, thanks for having us. Could you start off by telling us a bit about yourself?
Sure. I started my life off as a nursing sister with a fascination for people and what makes the world go around. And from a very young girl, like lots of young girls, I loved to get the magazines and look and see what my star sign said, and it fascinated me. But as I grew on, I thought there must be more to this. And then I got the courage one day to go and actually study astrology. It was perhaps the best move I ever made. And from there, a whole pathway opened to me. And there are so many areas in astrology one can go. And I think this is going to be my path now for the rest of my life. There's not enough life for me to study everything I need to know about this craft.
What is astrology?
Yes, astrology mainly is the study of time. It's all about time. So astrology is a big clock. You have the 12 zodiac signs. You have the 12 hours in a day. You have the 24 hours in, a full day. So basically, if you look at an astrology chart, you look at something like this, you can actually see, let me put it up here for you to see. You can see a whole circle with 12 things. So that's what astrology is. It's about time. It is ruled by the planet Saturn, and Saturn is Father Time. And that is something that starts. You've got to start from somewhere. Your very first breath you take in, that is when your soul enters your body. And from that very minute, that is your map. Your chart is your map of life.
So what does the term zodiac actually refer to?
The zodiac are the 12 areas in space around Earth, because what we do with astrology is we look at it from us being on Earth. It's pointless looking at us from being on the sun. If you're going to launch a rocket ship from the sun, I mean, you're not going to get anywhere. So you've got to look at Earth to launch your rocket ship. So we all work from Earth. Now, on Earth we look, and around us are the 12 zodiac signs. We are actually moving, but it looks like they're moving around us because we are stationary. And each 2 hours, we get a zodiac sign going over the east and the right, going all the way around. So within one day, you'll get the Earth moving through all 12 zodiac signs. There are 12 areas in space. Now, the constellations that make up their names, such as Aries, Taurus, Pisces, Libra, whatever, they are constellations in the sky. Now, over the years, they've moved. Fixed stars move. So they're not the exact pretty pictures they used to be. But that area in the sky, according to us in Western astrology, is like an area of season. Is it spring? Is it mid-spring? Is it pre-summer? Is it summer? And each sign will give an indication of that. We start at Aries, and Aries is about spring, new beginnings, new things. The Southern Hemisphere, it's not. But generally, we all work from Greenwich Mean Time, where day and night is equal.
We are both Libras.
Yes.
So would it be possible for you to do a reading for us?
I'd love to, because it will be interesting to see the difference of the two Librans. All right, so now, number one, who's going to give me their date of birth first?
I'll go 25 of
Okay.
September.
25 of September, year?
1987.
1987.
Cut that.
Time?
9:05
In the morning.
In the morning.
And, okay, place?
It was Pretoria.
So what we'll do is we'll look at you and say, what sort of a Libran are you? All right, so straight away I look at this chart and I can tell you're a self-starter. Before anything else, you like to do it and you do it your way. Boom, you're a self-starter. We look at your career, it's creative in a Libran way with groups of people. We look at your personality. There we have the Sag, a big personality. So we've got a big personality. Then we look at the ruler of your personality, and that's where you keep it a little bit private. You might have this big personality, you might be active and fiery, that you take yourself seriously. Now, our next Libran in the room here. What is your date of birth?
18 October 1990.
My thoughts on astrology is that this is an ancient practice, and there's definitely some accuracy into what they are predicting.
Okay. Once again, a person who you like being out there in the public, but you can be quite stubborn and still want to do it your way. So your business is about relationships, working with people, making partnerships, and you do it in a way where you are communicating. With you, it's all about people and communicating. Very, very strong chart, very strong person, have a lot. Your ambition could do very, very well. You are very tied to your emotions, so you're led by your emotions. So your feelings rule you.
That's true.
Well, that was very cool.
fantastic. Thank you.
Definitely. I gained a lot of respect after hearing how much you have to study to become an astrologer. And I definitely think, again, by just looking at facts and the history of it, that there has to be something about it. I'm not completely convinced yet, but I'm much more open-minded, and I'll rather not read a tabloid and maybe go see Laurie again before I get a second opinion. We were off to our final location, tarot card readings with Ursula.
I expected a tarot card reader to be a gypsy in a caravan. Ursula was quite different. Going in, I didn't know what to expect. Tarot cards have been demonized in our modern mythology.
Hi Ursula, thank you for having us. Could you please tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Okay, basically, I've been doing tarot card readings for 25 years.
Sure.
I started off with just a normal pack from the shop, and then I went on to design my own. so that I really wanted to be dedicated to the tarot and like know everything about it. So drawing your own pack, you know, makes a lot more sense. And I've been basically doing tarot all my life.
What are tarot cards?
It's a packet of 78 cards. There's pictures on all the cards. They all got different pictures and different meanings. And basically, it's just laying the cards out in a certain way and seeing what card falls next to what card so that you can interpret it.
So people have referred to tarot card reading as being connected to witchcraft. Is there any truth in this view?
I don't think so at all. In my view, witchcraft is dealing with evil entities. Okay, you're not dealing with any entities here. You're dealing with picture cards, okay? And they each have a meaning, and depending on how they fall, there's no witchcraft involved at all.
Could you perhaps give us a demonstration?
Yeah, sure. Okay, what you've got to do is you have to shuffle these cards, okay, just to get your vibrations on there for a few minutes, or as long as you need to.
I couldn't make heads or tails of the cards. There were so many of them, each with their own illustration. The one that I did notice was the devil.
Okay, let's see what it says here. Have you been betrayed by anybody recently? Have you had an upset with somebody at all?
Yes, how recent?
No, recent, like in the last few weeks.
No, not that recent.
Not that recent. Is it still something that is bothering you? Because it's still coming up in your cards?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we'll see as we go what it's going to show with regard to that situation, but it shows me that you got this betrayal here, and it actually looks like it has something to do with money. But it shows me that are you still speaking to this person in any way? Because I actually see a very positive outcome coming your way with regard to that whole situation.
Oh, wow.
Okay. As we go, I'll try and pick up initials and that, but for now, I see the initial T quite strong. Who's T?
Ursula mentioned during her reading that I would be having a bit of legal trouble in the future. This has come to fruition as I was having a bit of a tussle with the telecommunications company.
This car flipped now when you were shuffling, something to do with a car. Do you have a car? Something that needs to be sorted out.
Since the reading, I did have car trouble. My bearings failed and I physically had to rip off a mud flap.
In your business, are there people that comes from a distance? I see people coming from a distance where your work is concerned.
Yes.
Okay. You're going to be very happy about that, by the way. I also see change of residence coming up here for you as well, here. Don't know if you're planning to move. This is a change of residence, but there's also an overseas trip there too.
Strangely, now I do have students coming from Europe to train with me, and I am looking for a new home.
You don't teach, do you?
I do.
Oh, do you? Teach, lecture?
No.
Teach? Actually teach?
I teach martial arts.
Oh, wow. Okay, you've got very nice cards coming up with that situation, hey? You know, this also looks like to do with what you teach, okay? Is there something that you're wanting to start with it? Because it says, yes, you're going to handle more situations with it. Have you got a place where you teach already?
Yes.
Oh, do you want to open up another one? You see, there's change coming your way. This is going to expand quite a lot, and it's very big in the cards. It's like I say, first I thought it was learning, but if it is teaching, well, then it's teaching. Do you ever get leg or back pains?
Yes.
Do you get injections for it?
No.
No. You haven't wanted to, have you? Okay, I'm seeing something like that coming up here. Anyway, it's not serious. Don't worry about it. It could be, what's that stuff called where they put pins in you?
Dry needling.
Acupuncture, it might be something like that. Okay, quite a lot of driving around, a lot of travelling coming up, but local travelling.
For the show, I have been doing quite a bit of local travelling.
See, you've got worries to do with money. I think there's financial stress, but I really and truly see things are going to start changing, and the changes will make things better for you. It's almost as though you kind of get put into a situation that you're not happy with and you need to take action. You see, because you're not taking the action, you're waiting, and you're going to be forced to take the action to bring about the nice changes that I see happening in your cards.
Looking back on all these specific elements of our journey and all the correlating things that happened with each reading, we can definitely say there is, in fact, something there. When I look back at the similarities between all the readings, in my case, some stood out. About 3 times they told me, you're definitely associating yourself with the right people, you've brought a big change in your life, and this could lead to a possible success in the near future. With Fraser, I saw key moments where you just see his mind clutch, you know, and you see him think about what he just heard, and the tarot card reader did have some effect on him. It's definitely interesting, definitely worth a try.
After this experience, I can't say that there's no truth here. Whether they all did a cold reading on me, or whether they could truly see into my future, is too hard to tell. Looking back at all the readings, something that stood out was a possible bright future career-wise. Was this just something that I wanted to hear, or could it be true? Only time will tell.